Hello everyone. Normally in this channel I talk about handbags, but sometimes I do also talk about my reflections after reading books, especially when those books have shed light on how I can rethink or to inspire me into a different thinking about my life. And if it works on me, I believe that works on most people. And so after reading these two books, I think I can share something that I got from these books that might also help other people reflect on their own relationship. I talked about this books probably 2 months ago, but usually the way I talk about books is that I didn't introduce the book. I basically tell you how I can resonate and relate to the key takeaways that I got from the book. So it's not a book review, but basically some afterthought, some meta thinking after reading this book. And from Lim Ah-yong's book, she is a Korean psychologist, and the key concept that I got is the concept of responsibility. So I sort of realize and sort of become conscious that in every relationship I'm building, I am responsible for 50% of this relationship. Then the other party has also 50% to make this relationship work. So I do not overestimate myself in thinking that I should do this and that in order to make this relationship work. On the other hand, I also do not underestimate myself by thinking that I have nothing to contribute and that the other person is superior or what. Okay, so basically is to have a very rightful, very fundamental look at oneself in each relationship. And for me, knowing what I can do and what I don't need to do really empowers me in thinking about all the relationship I can build. Okay, and then I read this book. This book was actually published a year earlier than the other book. And this book, Resetting Boundaries, is also written by a Korean psychological counselor. And her name is Song Ju-yong. And in Chinese, it's called Song Zhou-yun. And this book is about resetting boundaries. And these two books, for me, they are both talking about relationship, because in this Asian context, relationships, especially how one person relate to the family, relate to the society, are pretty much limited and dominated. So for me, these Korean contexts really echoes the Taiwanese, because I'm educated and brought up in Taiwan. It really echoes my Taiwanese context and serve as a very good base for me to rethink how I have been brought up and educated, and where those conflicts and powerless situation are from. So yeah, so I got from this book the key concept about individuation and mentalization. I think psychologist Carl Jung first brought up the idea of individuation. Basically, it says it talks about how a person becomes fully developed as one individual, independent from his or her family background, society, even though those group consciousness still have a very dominating roles in our lives. And in this book, I sort of examine my own frustration in thinking about my relationship with my mom, because I feel that in the past, I feel that I have not individuated that well into a fully like independent adult, because I reflect that in the past times, I was trying to I seem to have this ideal that, because as a single child, I seem to have this ideal that my mom should get me, and she should understand me, and she should support me and love me. But however, in reality, my mom is not that, she loves me, but because of her background, she couldn't express her love in a very healthy and the way I want to be loved. So basically, her love is usually represented in like comparison, complaints, and silence. Okay, so that's what I have experienced. And but now, like after years and years of like reading self-help books and also doing meditation and doing some mindfulness work, I realized that she cannot give me what she herself didn't have before, like either in her childhood or when she becomes an adult. So basically, and then, there was a period of time when I tried to like explain, to educate her how love should be expressed, how love shouldn't be expressed through complaints, comparison, and silence. But actually, those explanations have been in vain. So it's really difficult to make her like grasp the kind of love that I want. So, and basically I have to say, like reading these books make me realize that individuation, it's not just I want my mom to know how love should be expressed. On the other hand, individuation also means that I myself as an individual have this like stable core. I can develop this like stability and within me that knowing that my mom cannot express love the way I want doesn't affect the love that I believe she has within her for me. So in other words, I think by becoming an individual, by having this mentalization process to fully develop within myself, my responsibility is that I do not place the responsibility on her to understand how I should be loved, but by refocusing on knowing that my mom has her background and context which sort of prevent her from expressing love the way I want. However, I need to be fully aware that love is there. It's just that the way we expect It's not the way you receive. And I need to be knowing that it does not cut the love less than it actually is. I have to develop this capacity to embody the idea that love can be expressed in so many different forms. Even if it is enunciated in complaints, in comparison, in silence, I can sort of like know that, oh, it's one form of love, but it's just, okay, it's different from what I want, but it's one form of expressing. And I should have develop this core to believe that it is love. And I need to have this compassion for people who have not the background to know how love in a comfortable way should be expressed. So basically, I think that these books make me know the idea of responsibility, and also the idea of individuation and mentalization. And the way I'm applying these ideas is to have like a more like rounded compassion for my mom and for myself, knowing that we shouldn't be deterred from the forms of how love is expressed. But we need to know that love is there. It's just that some people have maybe not the background and environment to learn a better way of communicating it. So yeah, so this was what I have learned. I hope this all makes sense to you. And actually this is the second time I recorded about what I have been feeling about these books. Yesterday I uploaded one video, but I realized that because I didn't write any draft for this, so in that previous video, the idea is a little bit scattered. Even though this one sounds a little bit scattered, but I think it's more focused. Basically, my true intention is to say that I think besides, for the responsibility thing and also the mentalization thing, one important concept to help these concepts develop is to develop compassion. Yeah, so I think by developing this compassion for other people's background and circumstances, it makes applying these good ideas easier. So I hope this all makes sense. And thank you so much for staying with me until now. I'll see you next time. Bye.